Hey, welcome to Life in the Leadership Lane. I am your host, Bruce Waller, and we are talking to leaders making a difference in the community and in our workplaces. How did they get started, and what do they do that keeps them there? And today, we have a special guest. We're going to talk to Kathy Hardcastle. Kathy is the Human Resource Officer at Texas Health Resources for Texas Health Denton Hospital in North Texas. Kathy is also a past conference director for the HR Southwest Conference, which is one of the largest regional HR conferences in the U.S. And she currently serves as the state director for Texas SHRM, that serves 32 chapters in the state of Texas and encompasses about 20,000 HR professionals. And if that's not enough, Kathy also volunteers. She volunteers in an adult cancer survivor camp, and she also teaches preschool, it's pre-K at Sunday school. So welcome to the show, Kathy.
Thank you, Bruce. Good to see you.
It's always good to see you. And I want to really just start this. I always like to find out, everybody's got a different story. I want to know your story about how in the world did you get into HR, and how did you know when you found that lane, when you found that purpose?
Well, that's a great question, Bruce. I didn't start out my career in HR. I actually started out in law enforcement, and early on found out that really wasn't what I wanted to do, but I did want to have a career that involved in helping people and helping people achieve what their goals were. So I went into training and development and spent the earlier part of my career in training and development, training executive leaders and staff members on soft skills, people interaction, problem solving, conflict resolution, etc. And through that transitioned into human resources operations. So I learned with every position I had in every industry I worked in, bits and pieces that really focused on human development in the human resources professionals. So I spent this I'm going on my 20th year with Texas Health Resources in human resources. So I've enjoyed the ride, but I kind of fell into it. I think many of us start out in one direction, and then, like you said, you find your lane. Where I really found my lane, so to speak, is when I was training our corporate, at another industry, our corporate executives and staff on doing the right thing. We called it civil treatment, and it's knowing how to treat people right and how to treat people fairly and the laws behind it, etc. And really got interested in making sure that leaders are training, informed, and doing the right thing, and that we are upholding our duty as leadership to ensuring that we are having a fair and equitable environment. So I kind of transitioned that way and started, like I said, almost 20 years ago in human resources with Texas Health Resources.
Well, I know your staff's lucky to have you, a leader focused on the things that make a difference. And I know you're busy, especially this time of year with what's going on in our country, in the world with this pandemic. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to all the healthcare professionals out there. And you just seeing what's going on in the world and being and leading that. So thank you to your team and all of healthcare medical.
Thank you. Yes, we work very, very hard at the forefront in supporting, and our role right now is to support those frontline leaders and those frontline workers in the workplace, whether through labor resources or other resources of childcare and grooming and PPE, and just getting what they need is food, for example, and putting food packages together, anything that we could do to make it easier and keep people safe and keep people working.
Now, I know you're a very, very busy lady, and but you still have time to volunteer. I know you've been volunteering. You said you've been with Texas Health for 20 years, but you've been volunteering for a long time too. I've had the opportunity to serve with you when you were the conference director for the HR Southwest Conference, for Dallas HR on the board of trustees. But today you are the state director for Texas SHRM, and so I wanted you to just share that story and what is Texas SHRM and how does Texas SHRM serve the HR community?
Well, thank you. Yes, Texas SHRM. I've been with 9 years with the Texas State Council, or Texas SHRM. This is my second year of a 2-year term as state director. So it's really a 6-year commitment from conference director, state director-elect through past state director. And my role is the executive officer to oversee established strategies and goals that will really helps us fulfill our mission. And our mission is really to support our chapter leaders and chapter members through leadership, professional development, advocacy, and support. So I've got a wonderful group, including yourself as district directors, that work with the 32 different chapters and serving over 20,000 Texas SHRM members in elevating the HR profession, whether it's through advocacy, legislature, professional development, and even today working through the COVID resources. So we're all dealt with a different world and a different way of doing business. And so what we're doing today is really putting those resources together to really help support our HR profession.
So now if someone's an HR professional in the state of Texas, and they don't belong to a local chapter, are they part of Texas SHRM? And if not, how would they get involved in that? And why would they want to get involved in that?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Bruce. We are really trying to publicize and really reinforce the dual membership. So we have those that are chapter members only that are not part of SHRM National, and we call those local members only. Okay. Then we have those that are SHRM members within the state, but they don't belong to a local chapter, and we call those at-large members. Okay. And what we try to do is get the value of dual membership, where you have at the local level your networking, your job resources, your professional development resources, and really that network of individuals that are brought together either at the local chapter level and then throughout the state, that we're really dealing with what happens within the state of Texas. SHRM National has an extreme amount of resources and connections also from what I call a national or higher level, overall generic type of HR resources, excellent COVID resources, but you really want to have the best of both worlds by being connected at the local level, whether it's volunteering. I mean, that's how I started volunteering, is going to a HR Southwest conference way back in 2003 as an attendee, and have volunteered every year since. And so you want to get connected. You get to work with a great group of people and volunteer with a great group of people such as yourself. And it's a way to really understand what's going on in your local areas, on whether you want to volunteer or you need those resources. You want that local. And so it's very, very important I highly encourage people to join your local chapter, but also see the benefit of the national chapter as well.
I love that. And I think that what you said, it was really hit home for me as well, in that you really have a chance to really develop your network and to other like-minded people that are in the HR profession, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. They're some of the best people in the world.
I love what you said also, and that is that you started because you went to a conference and you started volunteering. And that's really where it starts, that you have, as an HR professional, what I hear you saying is that, you need to show up, and then you need to go ahead and engage in possibly a volunteer role. Now, with that, engaging in a volunteer, I mean, we're all busy, right?
Right.
How much time does that typically take someone to engage in a volunteer role? I mean, are they now going to be volunteering for like 20 or 30 hours a week, or is there not really as much time as what they think?
Well, it kind of depends on the role that you take.
Okay.
And you can get as involved as you want. And as least involved as you want. So you can be at the state director, initially the first year is more involved than the second, because now I'm trying to ramp up the state director-elect to take over next year. Okay. But the important part of volunteering is you're doing it as a group. You're doing it as that network. And so you're not doing it alone. But I think that as human resources professionals, that we're all looking at giving back in a way, and that's what volunteering is. And so we're giving of our expertise, we're giving of our time, and we're giving of our talent. And so you can make the most of it, getting as involved as detailed as you want. If you want to spend 20 hours a week, or if you want to spend 4 hours a week, you have that opportunity through various volunteer opportunities.
I love that. I love that. And so, you know, a life in the leadership lane, we know that, you know, there's a lot of pluses and there's a lot of benefits, but there's a lot of challenges. Leadership is not always easy, is it?
No.
I was just wanting to see if you could share, what's a typical day in the life of Kathy Hardcastle? I mean, what does that look like? I mean, I'm sure you're not sleeping in till noon and then getting up and deciding what you're going to do. Tell us a little bit about what's a typical day look like for you as a leader?
Sure. And I think it's changed since COVID.
Okay.
I'm one of the essential workers, so I haven't had the liberty of working remote or working from home. So I'm at the hospital right now. I'm at the hospital every day, again, really seeing what we can do at the front lines to support our staff, frontline workers, and our leadership in planning on how we're currently working, but then how we're going to re-entry into the workplace. We start our surgeries next week. So it's a whole new gamut. So one of the things I really liked about HR is the challenge, but there's not a typical day. And my typical day starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it may end at 7 o'clock at night. It depends what it is. And so I'm in a lot of meetings. And I have the benefit of working with a great team that I can not only mentor, but they've got the talent I can delegate, in the sense of, I don't have to have the recognition. I don't need to have the know-how. I can reach out and provide them the opportunity to help them grow professionally as well as personally. And so I've had to learn over the years, you don't have to do it all. And so you want to embrace the talents of those that you work with to help move that through. So every day is different. Friday, yay, like Fridays, but the days are involved in meetings and one-on-ones and meeting with people, whether it's professional development, whether it's personal issues, human resources. We deal with everything from benefits to leaves and everything else. So it's kind of hard to wrap your arm around a typical day for me, but I know it involves people, it involves meetings. It involves I try to make time now that I've learned over the years, keep the work at work. And when I'm home, I'm home. So spending the time with my husband and gardening or whatever we're doing together is really important too.
I love that, because what I hear you saying is that, hey, I have a plan, but I have to be flexible. I have to be adaptable. I have to be agile. I have to be able to shift during the week along the way. Because we're all dealing with people, and
absolutely
just along the way.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh my gosh, Kathy, this has been awesome. I want to just I want to spend just the next 5 or 10 minutes on what I like to call it's time to accelerate, and just questions to learn a little bit more about you. So a book or podcast, what's your favorite? What do you like to do more?
Oh my goodness. I have not embraced the podcast yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I tried. I know, not too many. I do like webcasts, and and I do on books. Usually I do a lot of reading more over the summer, or outside of my business books. I do a lot on Kindle. So I migrated from the hardcover books. My library's full. And only have special books like the ones that are sitting behind you that I have on my bookshelf. I love mysteries. I love legal mysteries. And so John Ellsworth is a really good author that has kind of that legal mystery, kind of like a Grisham. I do that, or I do professional development books, because I want to continue to grow as a leader and do a lot of reflection. So your books, Tony Bridwell's books, Diana Boer's books, the books that either help me as a leader or as a professional, and sometimes just getting the balance. So it kind of depends on the direction I want to take.
I love what you're saying, because you're a human resources officer, and
Yeah.
you're saying you want to keep growing.
Oh, definitely.
It's like on the sign they have at Nike. There is no finish line, is there?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I love
Absolutely.
that. I love that. Okay, cool. Okay, I think I might know the answer to this question, but where would be your favorite place to vacation?
Geez, Bruce, I wonder what that could be. I have to say my number one place is Aruba. We have a timeshare there. We go there for 3 weeks a year, and we're just hoping and praying that the airlines and the island opens up by August, when we're planning on being there again. So we do have to have our beach, and it is that's the time where I read the most. I can read 5
Hmm.
or 6 books while I'm there, because it's just the time where I don't have my phone, I don't have the internet, I don't have anything to really I disconnect a lot, and I reconnect through reading and people that I'm with, and some really good friends there. And then outside of that, we like to go camping in our travel trailer, a lot of times up to Broken Bow,
Hmm.
Oklahoma, and we're looking at going to Colorado next month.
I love that. As a matter of fact, I see that as a common thread of high achievers, and that is the fact that they're able to what I call charge up,
Hmm.
get away and charge up, so then they can come back and they're fresh again. They just don't burn out. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, here's the final question, and this
Okay.
is a question that I thought about. I'm a big fan of the musical group Mercy Me, and they have a song out that's called Dear Younger Me. And so I just have always loved that. So what I like to ask, the final question is, what does the older Kathy, 10 years from now, what does the older Kathy say to the younger Kathy? Um, Share that for me.
I want to say it's just like it says, you run a good race. I hope that 10 years from now, I can look back to the younger Kathy and said, you did good. Look at the people
Oh,
you've impacted. Look at whether it's my kids, my grandkids, if it's the people at work that I've seen grow and develop. That excites me more um, than anything else. That, I hope it's kind of like leaving your legacy. I want to be able to say, I did my best. I made an impact. I made a difference. And I've run a good race.
I absolutely love that. And I have enjoyed our time together to learn a little bit more about you. I just wanted to say thank you for your service of course, in the healthcare industry. Thank you for what you do. And then also for serving as the Texas SHRM State Director and leading the HR professionals and the HR community forward. So if someone wanted to find out more about Kathy Hardcastle, how could they either connect with you or how could they find you on maybe social media?
Sure. Our Texas SHRM website
Okay.
has the contact information there. So I would go to the texashrm.org. Also through LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn invite to my LinkedIn contact there. I will say that I do LinkedIn more than Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not really a good tweeter, but I know that you can get me through that social media site as well.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you being on today, Kathy.
Thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor.